C looks then with Austria and Netherlands on top after both winning today. Nigel, that was tremendous. It was a bit disorganised, it was a bit frantic, but it made for a brilliant match. Your smile says it all, and Denzel Dumfries has probably got Frank de Boer out of a hole, hasn't he, with that late winner?
Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, I'm absolutely delighted, to see him, the Netherlands win or Holland win. It was an emotional roller coaster. I don't think I have a voice left, to be commentating here about the game. But yeah, I mean, Dumfries had a sitter, especially in the first half, with a chance that he got and a couple of other chances. I think he could score a hat-trick with the amount of chances that he had. But he made it count at the end of the game, and it was a nervous couple of minutes for Frank de Boer. I could already see the headlines in the press in Holland tomorrow, but he made it. So at the end of the day, we got the 3 points, and that was the most important thing. This was a great header. I mean, I think Gary would probably say it was a horrendous mistake from the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper was so good first half and seemed to be transformed in the wrong way, Gary, in the second half.
This one now, you just see it. He gets a full hand to it, but yeah, he made some really good saves earlier in the game, but then he struggled as the game went on.
And the reason the Dutch were in this mess was because after 64 minutes, they make 2 changes. Blint and Van Aanholt come off, and suddenly Ukraine were, allowed back in the game? What happened with the manner of the 2 Ukrainian goals? What would you say about the Dutch defending and the Dutch approach?
Well, I mentioned it in the first half that the Dutch were disorganised. I mean, I don't know why Frank de Boer made those 2 substitutions. That's something that, honest, I can't believe for 1 second he thought he had the game won. You could see that Ukraine in the first half are creating chances, and Dutch were the better team, they had more chances. But, I mean, they were disorganised, the Dutch. I mean, the first thing is on this goal, you'd never let Yarmolenko come in his left foot. Clive said it on commentary. You've watched him for years playing for Ukraine, for West Ham, and then I have no idea what the central midfield players were doing. You just watch this as it just continues on here, and it gets switched out to this left-hand side. And you look at the 3 midfield players, the basics of central midfield play, and I've got 2 sat alongside me, is that you shuffle across and you cover the space in front of your back players. They just stand still in the middle of the pitch. And that space there is exactly where Wijnaldum, De Roon or De Jong should be. It's really poor.
It's criminal.
You've got to be sniffing that damage.
It's ridiculous at this level. You see the midfielders not coming across doing their jobs. You mentioned substitutions and the manager. This is the basics of being on a football pitch. Intensity, doing your job. Ridiculous.
And here there are 8 Dutch players on the edge of the box. Now, Weghorst is a centre forward, but he's tall. So is he the right man to be on Yaremchuk there?
Why not? I mean, as a centre forward, as tall as he is, you come in a situation that you have to defend as well with free kicks, and this is just poor defending. And I think also it just was a matter of complacency after the 2-0. The substitutes for me was a surprise as well, taking one of your most experienced players off in Daley Blind, and we could see at the face of Daley Blind he wasn't happy with the substitute as well. So I'm really wondering why the substitute was made for Van Aanholt with Wijndal and Ake coming in, because they don't have a lot of experience in that.
But this all comes from the first goal. It's the first goal's the key. As soon as Ukraine get that equaliser, their tails are up, and we could all see the goal coming because we said from the first minute that the Dutch are all over the place at the back. But this idea, these guys in the middle of the park not coming across, covering, we're not saying come across 25 yards, 5 yards, and then the momentum of the game had changed. But credit to Holland. They got momentum back and showed a bit of character to go on and win the game.
They're good to watch, but playing like that, Holland, I'm talking about, going far into the tournament, you'd have to doubt that, wouldn't you?
Of course, it was so enjoyable. We'd obviously a good crack here watching it. Brilliant to watch in terms of entertainment, but Holland at the back, even the Ukraine at the back, forget about it. For these in the latter stages of the competition, they'll be found out by the real top teams.
Yeah. It's hard to disagree with that, isn't it?
He disagreed with me for most of the second half.
He was not the only one who disagreed, to be honest.
No, but the point is you can't suddenly impose some sort of organisational pattern in 4 months of a championship.
They could gain some confidence. I think you've made that point, Nigel, before. They could gain some confidence, but there looks to be so much work to do to get that structurally right to play against the top team. And they're not good enough in terms of their individual players. Some teams you can say they lack structure, but then their individual players will go and do something. They haven't really got top players that you think. So I'm with Roy. I don't think they're anywhere in this tournament, really.
Well, I disagree. Of course, I have to always stand behind my team and behind my nation. And the only thing that is really worrying right now is that they don't have enough time to really come in that system and get used to that system. But today was a good step in the right direction. What we said before the game as well is really important that you win your first game to get the momentum. So now they won it. They have to go back to the drawing board, especially Frank de Boer, see what they did wrong, and hopefully come up with a better solution for the next game. Because what we've seen today, they cannot go in the second game thinking they can win easily again and scoring goals and not conceding in the way how they played today.
But they found a way to win. But again, the bit that frustrates me, that makes me angry, is we're talking about team shape. This is about international footballers not doing the basics of football and covering the ground fight in terms of for the Ukraine.
In terms of switching the momentum, absolutely. But it was brilliant entertainment, and the most goals in a European Championship match. Actually, Depay, right at the beginning, had an opportunity, and it set the tone for the half, didn't it, with the Netherlands on the front foot?
Yeah, it definitely set the tone straight away. He had a chance for the inside of 2 or 3 minutes. Was a great run by himself, an individual action, and he had a chance and opportunity to score. The Dutch team, the Dutch team really started well. I mean, they were on the front foot, had loads of chances and opportunities to score the goal.
It's a bit frustrating. It's 0-0 at half time.
It is frustrating, yeah. It is frustrating because you don't get a lot of chances in a game in order to convert them as well. So we got a lot of chances, a lot of easy chances as well, especially the last one from Dumfries, what we see later on. But we definitely got the chances. Look how many bodies are in the box. And credit to Ukraine as well with the goalkeeper, and everybody is coming back in the box to defend it as well.
It's quite a scruffy game, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah, it's unusual to see a game. It's a little bit like an under-9s game. There's no shape. You see defenders that are like in front of goalkeepers. But it's actually enjoyable as well. The fact that both teams are getting chances. It's not too rigid. And Dumfries, I mean, that's just a sitter.
Yeah,
I think it's been really, obviously Gary's obsessed with team shape. It's about creating chances. The Dutch going forward have been fantastic. Yeah. But having said that, they look dodgy at the back. Yeah. And credit to Ukraine, they've not exactly come to park the bus. I think it's been a very good game.
And what about the penalty then as well? We're going to bring Peter Walton in for the first time in a minute after we've had a look at it. Should Ukraine have had a penalty? You shouted penalty in real time.
Yeah, he's wrong side, and it's typical of Van Aanholt. He's a poor defender. I actually think from certain angles it's a penalty. But this one I think is the one where I feel like it might be a penalty. So you just see him now. I mean, it's always dangerous to tackle there, and I think that could be a penalty. But then there is another angle coming now just after this, which makes me feel it's not, because I think he does take a dive.
Yep. So it's Van Aanholt coming in on Yarmolenko, and does he just get enough of a, as you say, he's really risking it, going in with his right there.
He doesn't get the ball, he doesn't get the man.
No.
So that's the one that tells you it's not a penalty for me.
No, for me as well. I mean, Yarmolenko, he was looking for the contact. You could really tell by his body language and the way how he went down. So it was sloppy from Van Aanholt to go down there, but it was not a penalty for me as well.
Let's get Peter Walton's view on it then. Peter, welcome along. What did you think of that?
I think the referee, Philip Sprague, got that absolutely spot on. In terms of the VAR and their intervention, I think it's right, and we've seen it more and more in this tournament, where VAR is not getting involved when there's not enough clear evidence on the replay to overturn an on-field decision. And we can see it here. There's not evidence there that there was a foul committed. We could debate whether or not there was one, but in VAR terms, it's not clear enough for the on-field decision to be overturned, and it's a correct decision.
Seems logical, doesn't it, Roy?
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with the referee. Yeah, I think the right decision, and credit to the official for getting it right first time around.